This is my HPI Sport 3 Flux, and yeah. And guys, in this episode, I'm going to be talking about problems with the chassis and my overall review. So, to start out, you guys are probably wondering about why my pinion cap is off. You know, there it is. It's not on the chassis. So I just want to talk about that first, because I also got someone else with the same problem. So to start out, I had out of the factory, this thing has a problem with shipping out spur gears. So I just basically want to talk about how to fix that problem, because I know a lot of people are struggling with it right now. So basically what you do is you purchase one of these hex wrenches. This one's a Dynamite. Dimensions are 6-64. I can remember this. As you can see right here, this is a machined hex driver. Okay, 5-64. And this is basically all you need to work on the whole chassis and the T-wrench. Well, what I've discovered, this is all you need, but you can take with this screw. It's easier to take out like all the chassis stuff and screws and the motor mount stuff. So basically, let's just get started on the problem. So to fix the problem, originally out of the factory, you're going to want to change the gear mesh. So if you guys are curious what the gear mesh is, it is the dimensions, I guess I can say, of the spur gear and the pinion align or pushed together. So out of the factory, I think that it is slightly a little bit too tight. The gears are pushed together a little bit tight. So what you want to do is you just want to get the hex wrench, and you're just gonna see these two screws right here. This one right here and this one right there. You're just gonna back these out. You don't need to back them out all the way, just back them out until the motor gets a little bit loose. And by loose, I mean not like coming outwards. I mean loose by like you can spin the motor on the drive shaft, or not on the drive shaft, but on the drive shaft motor mount. Why do I keep saying that? Motor mount. As you guys can see, it'll just spin. And all you have to do is, after you take back these screws out, spin the motor outwards. So just spin the gear, this pinion, so that it's upwards more, and you're gonna lay a paper on the spur gear. So I don't know if you can see that, but you're gonna lay it on the spur gear, and you're just gonna spin back the pinion gear onto the spur gear, so the paper sits right in the middle. So this is a pinion, this is a spur. You're gonna put the paper right here, and you're just gonna twist the motor so that the pinion rests back on the spur gear. And all you have to do is don't tighten the screws yet. You're just gonna, after you line them, push them together. Well, you don't need to push them, but just make sure it's secure. Pull the paper out, and you should have perfect gear mesh. There's also another way. You can also eye it too, but if you are going to eye it, all you need to do is just make sure that okay, so here's an example. This is the spur gear teeth, right? And this is the pinion gear teeth. You want to make sure that you have a little tiny bit of play in the pinion and the spur. You don't want too much, but I would just say, like, so it can move around a little bit. That's, all the play you're going to need. So that should be okay. Another problem with this chassis is that out of the factory, it is really, 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 really low. And as you can see, I destroyed the undercarriage. It's all scratched up. So make sure out of the factory you someone asked about this in the last video. These are thread, adjustable by threads. So you just, push it, loosen it, and it should lift up the body. And you're just going to even it out so that, this thing isn't constantly dragging on the floor and, scrape up your chassis like I did. So let's just get straight onto the review. So my review of this, I think I would rate it specifically at 3.5 stars, just because it had a whole bunch of problems, and I think I have a reason for that problem. It is really new. This is probably the newest model, as far as I'm concerned, on the HPI, I guess list, I can call it. It's a new model out there. It's brushless. Everyone wants to get this one. And I think that's really disappointing that you still have to make adjustments out of factory. I think if I'm paying like, $319, I think it should be already, set and everything like that, right? So yeah, that's how I'm going to go for that. ESC, all electronics I think are excellent. The Flux, I'm not really sure what, I forgot what this system is, but it runs really well. I think it's inspired by Castle. And as you can see, I'm running an ARMA receiver on here. So this is a transmitter I run on here, and I run it on a 2-cell. I don't really like using like the double A's, but this one is the one that comes with it. This is a really good radio. I really like it, but the problem is that it just uses way too much. It goes through batteries really fast. And another thing is that if you're going to be drifting, as you can see, I have 2 sets of tires here. I drift and I touring car sometimes. So if you're going to drift, this isn't really the chassis for you. I really struggled with this chassis. I tried to lock up the rear diffs to make it drift better, like a whole bunch of my teammates were saying in my club. You guys can check out that video, but they're saying, lock up your rear diff and it'll make it slide a lot easier. And that isn't really the answer to this, because I was already scared enough to lock up the rear diff, especially with the gear mesh settings. So I didn't lock it up yet, but I'll try again, and then I'll check in with you guys after that. But yeah, so, and for touring car, what basically made for it, it's really good. I really like it. It's really fast, especially if you run it on 3-cell, but this is the one I run it on. This is a 5,000 mAh 30C discharge LiPo. I have the scanner on there to just tell me the readings and stuff like that of all the cells, and it runs perfectly in here. So that's my review, guys. I'll make sure to update you guys with more. So thank you for watching. Precision RC, check me out. I'll be doing a running video too, another one of touring car, because I already did drifting. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys get your problem fixed with the spur gear and all that other stuff. And if you need any help, you guys can always comment. I'll make sure to reply and as soon as I can. So thank you for watching, guys. Bye.